Hello and welcome. My name is David Miller, Vice President of Cheminformatics at Simulations Plus. Thank you for tuning in to this training video on the ADMET Predictor REST API. The REST API is intended for those customers who want to bring ADMET Predictor functionality, whether it be ADMET property predictions or pharmacokinetic simulations, into third-party software. That software might be a commercial tool like Spotfire or LiveDesign, a custom-built cheminformatics platform, or even just a simple Python script written by an individual scientist. As this schematic shows, the idea is to set up a single ADMET Predictor server at your site, then allow multiple clients to make prediction requests to that server simultaneously over the internet. Here, the term internet refers to your internal network rather than the public internet. This is the first of two videos, and in this one, I'll be focusing on setting up the ADMET Predictor server. In the second video, I'll focus on how clients access that server through the API. So how do we set up the server? First, there are no special requirements for this machine other than that it be accessible over the network to all individuals who want to access the API. I'm going to focus on Windows machines in this video, but the server can also run Linux, and you should consult the ADMET Predictor Linux guide for more information about that. So I am here on my local machine, which I will use in the second video to run the client software. So this is remote desktop. And I am connected to the machine that I will use as the server. It's just an ordinary laptop running Windows 11. So I'm going to activate that machine. So now I am on the server machine. Okay, so the first step in setting up the server is to install the ADMET Predictor software. It's the regular installation process. So I'm going to open up a folder, the Windows Explorer here. And this is the default location for an ADMET Predictor install. So it's the C drive, program files, Simulations Plus. I actually have several ADMET Predictor installs here, including the latest one, which is ADMET Predictor version 12. If I just go inside this folder, this is the main ADMET Predictor executable. But then we also distribute a binary file called ADMET Predictor service.exe. And it's that service that powers the REST API. So ultimately, we are going to need to install this service on this machine. And just a side note, the process is quite similar on a Linux machine. We distribute a separate binary file, which you install on Linux as a daemon. Okay, so the first thing that it's really important to do after you've installed ADMET Predictor is to ensure that it will run. So as you're aware, installing Predictor requires that you obtain a license file from Simulations Plus and that you set up a Flexera license server, somewhere at your site. In this particular case, I have the Flexera license server running on this same machine, this remote machine. That's not a requirement, but the API does operate faster if it does not have to go over the internet each time it needs to check that the server is available, the license server is available, or check out a license, and so on. So for fastest operation, it's best that the Flexera license server and the ADMET Predictor server be the same machine. Okay, so just to show that Flexera is set up properly, I'm just going to launch the ADMET Predictor graphical user interface. So I'll double click that just to show that the interface does pop up. There's a menu option under Help where you can check the license status. And I'll show that I have a number of licenses to the various modules, like PhysChem Bio. That's the module that has our pKa model, solubility model, and so on. So we see that ADMET Predictor is set up and it runs on this server machine. So that's an important first step. The second step is to create a support folder that will be used by the ADMET Predictor service. So I'm going to switch folders from program files to program data. So a default installation of ADMET Predictor places a folder with the same name that we were just looking at, ADMET Predictor 12.0. It's placed in the Program Data Simulations Plus folder. And this contains a number of support files, most important of which are the individual QSAR model files. So each of the individual models in Predictor has its own parameter file, a so-called QNN file. So the program data folder on Windows by default is a restricted folder. And the ADMET Predictor service needs to have write privileges to the support folder that it uses. So you'll need to make a copy of the contents of this folder and place it in a writable location. So I've chosen one already. It's on a separate drive. So it's on my D drive, and I've named it AP Service Run Folder. There are no requirements about where this folder is located or what its name is, but it does have all the subfolders and files that were in the main program data folder that we just looked at. Okay, so this is going to be an important folder when we go to the next step, which is modifying the configuration file. So you'll notice that there is a subfolder called ADMET Predictor Service here. And if I go inside that folder, I should first point out that there is a separate user manual for the ADMET Predictor Service / REST API. I'll just quickly open that and show that there's a lot of information in this file about this install process, licensing issues, and then all the capabilities of the REST API. So predicting ADMET properties and running the pharmacokinetic simulations. It lists all of the so-called URIs, or Universal Resource Identifiers. Those are the endpoints that are supported by the API. They're all described in great detail in this document. So we would encourage you to spend a little time looking through this before you complete the install process. Okay, so the next step is to make the required modifications to the configuration file, which is going to be used when we install the service on this machine. So I'm just going to open up that file. I won't go over every parameter that's in this file. I'm just going to focus on the most important ones. These are described in the PDF file that I just showed, and this file also contains notes for each of the parameters. The first one is the path to the support folder. So that's the folder that we just created here on the D drive, so D AP Service Run folder. So you'll see the full path is specified there. The next parameter, which is particularly important, is the path to the Flexera license server. So on this machine, I'm running the Flexera license server locally, so I can use @localhost here. If your Flexera license server is located on a different machine, you'll need not just the IP address or the domain name, you'll most likely need the port number as well. You can consult your IT department about the exact format to use for this particular parameter. It's best to use the same format that is used by the ADMET Predictor graphical user interface. And that string, that parameter, is contained in the registry, in the Windows registry. I won't show that here, but just be aware that in order to ensure proper communication between the service and the Flexera license server, it is important that you specify this parameter correctly. Okay, there's a port number that will be used for communication between the client and the service. You can set that arbitrarily. As long as the client and the server agree about what this port number is, It doesn't matter how you set it. You can use the traditional, port 80 or 443, but you don't have to. You'll next specify the list of licenses that the service will be authorized to check out. So this will either be the full list of licenses that you have purchased from Simulations Plus or a subset of those licenses. Now, I'll need to take just a minute here to talk about how licensing works with the REST API. The default behavior is that when you start the Windows service, it will check out all of the licenses that you have specified in this line. And those licenses will remain checked out right up until the service is shut down. The advantage of that is that, as multiple requests come in from clients, there should never be the case that a request fails because of the unavailability of a license. The disadvantage of this approach is that the API now owns potentially all of your licenses, and that will prevent users of the graphical user interface or the command line. There will be no licenses left for those users. We do have some clients who want to have the API share licenses with those other users, the graphical interface or command line users. And in that scenario, you can change this parameter here, the feature upfront checkout. Instead of 1, you would put a 0 here. That will make it so that the API does not check out licenses on startup. Instead, it will only check them out as each client request comes into the service. It will try to check out the licenses at that time, and then after the request is processed, it will check the licenses back in. So this is a way to share licenses. The disadvantage is that this makes it possible for a client request to come in and it cannot be fulfilled because no license is currently available. It's being used by, let's say, somebody who has the graphical user interface open. So you will have to choose, whether you want the API to exclusively own the licenses or if you want them to be shared. Okay, there's a log file path. There's some other parameters here that I think I'll skip for today. They're fairly straightforward. And then just a quick note on encryption. So for this video, I'm going to have that feature turned off. If you want to use it, you would simply uncomment these lines. This last one is optional. I won't talk about that today. But if you uncomment these, the first is a path to a certificate file. The second, path to a private key file. Your IT department should be able to provide those files for the ADMET Predictor server. We also have cases in which customers have been given permission to use a self-signed certificate. That's something that you can easily generate using the freely available OpenSSL software. If you have any questions about this, please just contact us and we can help you to set this up. So I will not be using encryption for this short demo today, but it's something that you can very easily enable. Okay, so once you have modified this configuration file to your specifications, the next step is to install the ADMET Predictor service itself. So to do that, you would typically use the command prompt or the DOS window. So I'm going to open up the start menu. And in order to install a service, you'll need to run the command prompt as an administrator. Okay, so here we are in the command prompt. I just need to cd to the folder that has the binary files in it. So was program files, Simulations Plus, and then ADMET Predictor version 12. We were looking at this folder a few minutes ago, so this is the main executable file that's used to run the graphical interface or run the command line. Now we're interested in the ADMET Predictor service, and we are going to issue a install command. I'm going to try to get this right on the first try. It may take a couple of tries here, but we're going to invoke that file. ADMET Predictor service. We're going to issue an install command. And then the key parameter here is to point it to the configuration file that we were just editing. So again, this is the version of the file that was in this, this copy of the program data folder. We copied that to ensure that it was in a writable location. So the path to that file, it's on the D drive. It was AP service run folder. And then a subfolder called ADMET Predictor Service. And then the name of the configuration file, ADMET Predictor Service.cfg. Okay, let's see if I got that correct. It says that the service is installed. So now I should be able to open up the services pane and see that it is listed among the various services. So I'm going to launch the run window, type services.msc here, and that will bring up the services pane. And now we'll see there's an entry for ADMET Predictor Service here. You can talk again to the IT department about how exactly this service should run. It's set to, run as manual, so it's not started automatically. So it's not running right now. It's running as local system. You can, of course, change that, to whatever you want. I'll just, briefly point out here that, as I mentioned, LM admin, that's the name of the service that powers the Flexera license server. So that is up and running right now. It's on the same machine here. That's not a requirement, but again, it does lead to faster operation of the API. Okay, so now the last step is to start the service. So I should be able to just right click and say start. So the service starts up. And then just to make sure that everything started properly, we can look at the log file. There's some information there that you can look at just to see that everything worked as expected. So I'm going to just open up File Explorer, go back to my AP Service Run folder and the ADMET Predictor Service subfolder. This log file was not there the last time that we were visiting this location. If I open it up, you'll see, notes about the service starting up, all the various parameters that we set in the configuration file, and then two important messages at the bottom. And I bring this up because if you do, run into a problem when you get to the stage of trying to access the API via a client, you'll definitely want to go back and consult the log file just to make sure that you see both of these messages here at the bottom. The first one never fails. This is really just reading the configuration file. I shouldn't say it never fails. You need to make sure that the configuration file is set up properly. But it's much more likely that this second step will have failed. And this one relates to the contacting of the Flexera license server. So 99% of problems that occur with the API are due to an inability to communicate with the Flexera license server. So make sure that you see this message that the service successfully initialized. If you don't see it, then there's a problem with the communication. And you should, in particular, look at that field in the configuration file about the path to the Flexera license server. I can't stress enough how important it is that that be set properly. So make sure that you can run the ADMET Predictor GUI, the graphical interface, on the machine just to establish that communication with the Flexera license server is working. And then as long as you have the same format for the port and IP address of the Flexera license server, if that same address is specified in the service configuration file, then things should work. Okay, we have the service up and running on this remote machine. So the next step is going to be back on the local machine, communicating with the ADMET Predictor server via the API.